onto the ground. We've talked about before. Oh, the other thing, if you have a scarf or belt or strap, you might be able to utilize that today, but not necessary. I happen to have a scarf. You probably think, why did she bring a scarf to Hawaii? But I always do. This is my traveling scarf. You never know when you need a little shawl or you need a little something. And tonight we happen to be going to the highest point on the mountain, and they say the highest point in the world if you include the ocean, right? From the ocean up. So it's gonna be cold. They're gonna give us parkas and such, but my scarf will come in handy. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay down. If you guys have a blanket or pillow or something that would bring you a little more comfort to lay down, please go ahead and do that. Just make sure you're gonna be able to see me here. Oh, I'm in a different space again today, so looks like it. So as we find ourselves back down, face up on our mats, just allow yourself to really release and let go here. It's difficult for us sometimes in our lives to find that ability to really just give a big sigh and let ourselves be swaddled by the earth, cared for, supported. And I find myself when I'm here, I just kind of like to tuck my shoulders in a bit. So I'm just kind of pulling one in at a time until I feel like I've got a really nice open-hearted place to take in and out my breath. I also find when I'm down here, laying flat on the mat, that a nice little tuck of my chin helps to elongate the back of my cervical spine. And so, for instance, when I have this little ponytail thing, I've got to kind of pull that up so that I can tuck and elongate there. My arms extend out, not any place specific necessarily, but not necessarily tight into my body either, just to let them relax and open to that place that feels like, yeah, I've let go. My hands are up, so I'm really receptive to this practice that we'll be sharing together today. I have my toes are out, my heels are in, because that feels like I've let go of my hips as well here. And with my body nicely placed upon the earth, I can finally begin to focus in on what's really real, what's really important here, and that's my breath. Our bodies in this position are so open for receiving our inhales and releasing our exhales. Again, in and out through our nose if possible. Let's take your hands on your belly here. And let's take a few breaths here as we note the rise and fall of our hands. Let's see if we can take that rise up and that fall down a little bit slower. A little bit deeper. Finding as much richness in our breath as we are able here. Maybe taking a second in between each breath to just find stillness. That inflating and deflating of our belly. Reminds us of the necessity of finding balance in our life in every breath we take, every step we take, every move we make. I think that's a song somewhere. Let's take 2 more, please. Or 3 or 4, whatever you end up taking on mine too. Now make your bellies really big. Inhale. And hold breath and make some drumming sounds and let it deflate. Let's do that again. Inhale big and drum. And deflate. Good. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bring both feet in, heels towards my hips or glutes, and tuck my pelvis a bit so that I can flatten out that lower part of my spine. Okay. And my feet, my knees are about hips distance apart. And all I want to do right now, I have my hands kind of fingers away from me. Just lift my hands up. Inhale. And exhale, float them down. Just a few of those fingers towards the ceiling. Exhale. Pressing down, feet into the ground. Pressing down lower spine. Into the ground. To your mat. Keeping that nice steady breath. This time, let's accentuate that inhale. Take your hands farther behind you. Not all the way to the ground, but feel that opening of the armpit and the chest. And take your hands down. Keep going. Now let your hands extend as far away from you, fingers away from you, overhead as you can and are able. Maybe they come down to the earth and then bringing your hands up. Exhale them back down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, down behind you. Inhale, lifting, fingers upright. Exhaling, fingers down along your hips. One more slow round of that. Inhale, fingers lifting up. Exhale, fingers coming away from you overhead. Exhale. Inhale, lifting. Then exhale, fingers coming down, placing palms down, past your hips there. Take energy into your feet, in your arms, and your shoulders. Tuck chin, lift hips up just a couple inches, not very far yet. Okay, making sure we stay tucked in that chin and just lifting here. Let's go ahead with just this little lift and sway. Sway your hips a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. Let your knees go with you. It's hard to do it without your knees. And then come down, flatten out that lower spine as you do. Notice about how many vertebrae were lifted off of the ground then. And this time press into everything except for your neck area, your head area. And lift up a little bit higher, not quite any kind of distance that you may normally go, but just a little higher, feeling again placement on the earth, chin tucked. Really press down through your feet. If you want to feel this energy rising up into the knee and then back down into the hip area and all the way into your abdominal area, really press down. Arms pressed out as well. Feeling that energy from the arms pressing down, coming into shoulders and chest, and then slowly releasing down. Take each vertebrae down, take that lower spine and erase that curve. This time, let's rise up again. Maybe you come up a little bit higher now. Hands, fingers reach down. Some of you may want to interlace your fingers and take your hands underneath your center of your hips there. Really pressing shoulders down, really not pressing into neck and head, okay? I could still kind of lift my head up here. Feet are pressing down solidly, shoulders pressed down. If you're starting to take anything into your neck, release those hands. Use your hands to press down, not the neck. The interlacing of fingers is just if you feel like you've really are in control of your bridge, all right? And slowly, ever so slowly, let's go down one vertebrae at a time. Find that lower spine. Tuck in the chin. All right, let's do that now dynamically, making sure, again, protecting the neck. I'm inhaling as I lift my hips up, tucking that chin, maybe lifting my head, and then exhale. Take each vertebrae down, lower into that lower spine. Keep going, you guys. I know each of you know how to do this. I just want to always remind you of safety. And here safety is making sure we keep that chin tucked. And I know that that's a little hindrance for the breath. But keep focused on your breath in and out through your nasal passages. Finding the rhythm of your breath, which brings in mindfulness and concentration and makes this practice of yoga we call moving meditation. Two more, please. And coming back down. Feels good. I'm going to keep my left foot grounded. I'm picking my right foot off the ground. I'm going to interlace my fingers underneath my kneecap and just begin to pulse. I'm going to push out and release, arms long and foot kind of in an active flex position. And then I'm going to bend the elbows and bring that knee in towards my shoulder. Then I'm going to release, arms long, and then bring in knee. So here we're just doing this again in a dynamic fashion. Continuing to remind myself to tuck my chin. Use your upper body strength here. Let your foot push away. Let it push away from you as you are tug of war with your arms, bringing that knee in. okay? That's going to feel different than not having that force of the foot activated, all right? It's going to slow you down. It's going to activate your upper body. Never really done this before. It feels good. Pushing out through my foot, lengthening my arms, and then bringing my knee in. And this time I'm going to release the strength I was putting into my leg. And I just want to have that right knee coming as close as I can or want to my right shoulder there. Chin is tucked. Breathing here. And continuing to use upper body strength, but this time with the leg relaxed as you continue to pull it in. Good. And then let's release that leg up from the bind. We just had it in, toes towards the ceiling. And let's take some circles with our right ankle or your left, whichever one you're on. And reverse it, please. Good. And then take and bend your knee. Place your outside of your ankle up against the thigh by the knee, right? Making that figure 4 position. And taking your left foot that's grounded, maybe a little closer to your hips, align your spine, okay? Because sometimes we start to get misaligned when we start doing movement here. And from here, my hands are stretched out, shoulder kind of distance, got kind of a wall in my way on one side, but that's all right. And I'm going to just come up and down on the ball of my left foot. So lifting my heel. It's not a lot right now, but maybe you'll feel that in the outside of your hip. We'll definitely get to feeling the outside of our hip soon if this doesn't. But what this is doing, first of all, flex your upper foot, your right foot, so that you can feel something. So what we're doing is just kind of giving a little exercise to our calf muscle here. And a little bit of extra opening for the hip. And then rise up onto the ball of your foot there. And then lift the ball of the foot off the ground, flex into that left foot. And just let's do some easy pulsing here. Pulsing with that left knee, pulsing towards you. And as you notice, that carries everything from the hip area on down. I just decided to put my hands underneath my head and my neck area just to release a little bit there. So whatever feels good for your arms, flexing into both feet here. And then bring that left knee in as close as you can. Still flexed feet. And let's take your hands and interlace right at the base of your skull there. And keeping that left knee pull again, lower body pull again. Let's go ahead and lift up. And we're not pulling in on our neck, all right? We're just supporting our head with our arms. We're getting some abdominal strengthening here. Keep pulling in that left knee. Keep your body up, the upper body coming in, all right, towards the lower body. Breathing. And lowering shoulders down, head down, and taking my hands and coming underneath behind that left thigh. And I'm going to give a little pull here in this figure 4, or this reclined pigeon. Or I'm going to take my hands and interlace under my left knee if I want a little bit more here. Now I'm feeling it. Feeling it in that right, oh yeah, that right outside hip. Are you feeling it too? Okay, here we are. Only if you'd like to add a little more, you can lift your head up and curl and tuck and round, trying to get your forehead closer to that ankle that you're staring at. But only if you like, only if you want a little more sensation. Yeah, that outside right hip. And I'm slowly lowering back down. I'm going to release my hands outward, shoulder distance, and I'm going to let my hips and legs come over to the left. So I'm coming into a twist with control. Okay, your feet may or may not come to the ground on that left side. If they do, just let that happen and take a look over your right shoulder. Pulling in at the navel point there. I'm going to now lift with my abdominal strength, my legs back up. And now I'm going to take them on the opposite way. Over. Taking a look over my left shoulder. Keeping that figure 4 as well as we can in the twist. And with my obliques and my abdomen, pulling my legs back up. And releasing my left foot down, my right foot down. Finding my alignment again with my spine on my mat. Keeping right foot down, lift my left leg up. Oh yeah, stretch out the back side of that left leg there. And again, in a bit, we may want to utilize that strap or a scarf, or you can still just use your hands. It won't be necessary. Let's go ahead and take those circles. Going round and round she goes. And reversing that pattern. And then just keeping the leg nice and long here. I'm going to go ahead, bend into the knee, and take the ankle, outside ankle, to right above on the top part of the knee area, thigh area, that figure 4 here. And then just let's begin to come up and down the ball of that right foot. Up and down. Lift it, heel up, and working into that right gastrocnemius, like calf muscle there. And then lifting up onto the ball of that foot, bringing my right foot in as close as I can to my hip. Already maybe feeling a little bit here in the side panel of my left hip. Flexing my upper foot as well. And then lifting my left foot, my right foot off the ground. And I want to just give a few little pulses here. Chin stays tucked. Pulsing with flexed feet. And then bringing that knee in as much as my body will allow without the use of my hand strength. Oh, feel that. And only if you want to have a little more of that sensation, we take our hands and interlace behind the right thigh. You may start there to begin with. Maybe you're ready to go underneath your right knee. Or you may want to just stay in the figure 4 with foot grounded, okay? We all have a different level of where our sensation takes us and where we want it to take us, all right? We make that decision. So I'm just introducing aspects of where you may or may not want to go to. So here I'm just bringing that right knee in a little bit more. And oh boy, I feel it, feel it, feel it. And then I'm going to curl and tuck and round myself up here. And slowly, ever so slowly, bringing myself back down here. Releasing my hands out to the side. And I'm going to let my hips and knees shift over to the right, seeing if any part of my legs land on the ground or not. If so, they're landing gently with control. I'm looking over my left shoulder here. And then with control, pulling at your navel because that's going to ignite your abdominal muscles. Bring your knees back up, hips up, and let's take them over to the left. And here I'm going to maintain that figure 4. So my left thigh is connected to the ground there. I'll look over my right shoulder here. Keeping my shoulders grounded as well. And breathe up. My legs back up. And I don't know if I did this on the other side or I'm getting confused, but I'm going to take my hands and interlace at the base of my skull and just lift up here and bring my legs in. This is where I miss having our classes live so that you can say, no, Julie, this is what we did. Because you guys have my memory. You've got my back when we're doing that. But anyways, we'll still get a little bit of our abdominal work in here as well. Maybe a little pulsing. And let's go ahead, slowly take our backs down. Slowly take our right foot down, left foot down. And take your hands underneath your hips, palm down, okay? Palm down here. Take your feet, legs together, and let's lift knees in towards your chest. And again, I kind of on my wrists, forearms, my hands aren't really underneath my hips now that I've lifted up. But I feel that, right? I feel that connection there. And that weight on that area is good for carpal tunnels if you're on your wrist area. And I'm just going to take and make little circles with my plastered together, glued together, knees, feet. So I'm kind of massaging that part of my hand and arm, okay? And I'm getting a little bit of hip work here as well. Now I'm going to go around in the opposite way. Our hands and arms need this because we're so always with phone and computer use, all of that, taking disadvantage of our hands. Okay, and then coming back up, go ahead and let your feet come upward here. And point and flex, and point and flex. And continue bringing your body up a little bit now. And release your hands. Let your arms come out, pulling you. Fingers open wide, pulling your upper body towards your thighs. And then I'm going to reach around and I'm just going to grab onto whatever I can on my legs, on my thighs. I'm going to hug myself with long legs. We take and do this often with our knees bent. Right now we're going to hug into ourselves with those long legs, curl, tuck, round, shoulders pull down. And then releasing and open up my legs here. And this is where if you have a scarf, you can use it. Otherwise, it's not needed. We're just going to open up here. Let gravity work, or let your hands help you here. Okay, or if you have a scarf or something, you can take one leg into the scarf and then we'll exchange it out here. I want you to get a good groin opening here, a good stretch. So that scarf will just help her again, utilizing the weight of your hands in your inner thighs or your inner calf area, shin area will do it. Flexing through your feet will do it as well. Maintaining glutes engaged will also help this process, and engagement in your core. If you're using a scarf, switch it out. And the other hand maybe helps with the other side, or you're still just opening up the groin there. And breathing. And then let's let our legs come up. And let's let our knees bend. And let's hug ourselves in the way that we're normally used to hugging ourselves. Taking ourselves in here. And oh, now I know what I forgot on the left side. We'll add that in now. And then we'll move up. So releasing. Put right foot down. Let's hug in left leg and pulse here. This is what I forgot on this side. The memory comes and goes. I'm not quite sure exactly everything we did, but I know we did that, and then we hugged in. Yeah, just to find some evenness on our compression into our digestive organs. All right, let's let that foot come down. Let's come onto our side here into a fetal position just for a couple breaths as we transition then onto hands and knees. Spent a lot of time on our back today. That's okay. It was a lot of good work for parts of our body, even though we stayed pretty grounded. And then go ahead and lift yourself up and find yourself in hands and knees. Okay, everybody able to see me there? Hands and knees. And let's take those hips and move them left and right. Maybe even picking up. When I go to the left, I'm picking up my right knee. Go to the right, I'm picking up my left knee. And hip circles here. with breath. And reversing. A lot of hip work already today. Come on back to hands and knees. And let's cat-cow, releasing belly down and looking up to whatever point feels good for your neck. Opening and then curling and tucking and rounding it to yourself again. We've done a lot of that today. Good thyroid action here. And 2 more times with that nice flow. And finding flat back here. Let's take our right foot back behind us, lift it up, bring in knee to nose, and then place that right foot between your hands so that we're in a low lunge here, okay? And take and tuck the back toes, lift your knee off the ground into a high lunge, okay? But our hands are still grounded. And then bend into your knee, come back to the ground, and then lift knee off the ground, stretch back here into that calf that we worked, and into your front left hip flexor. Bend into your knee again. Rise up, push back solidly into the ball of your foot, push through and back. Your heel pushes back. And really lengthening the backside of that leg, and then knee comes to the ground. And let's do that one more time. Lift. And here we're going to stay on the ball of our back foot. We're going to keep our left hand down. We're going to lift our right arm up, okay, into a twist here. Trying to maintain that front knee forward. Mine wants to go left or right. But I want to try and keep it forward. So that takes the strength of my hips, right? My leg muscles there. Now I'm going to take my right hand to the inside of my right foot. And I'm going to stay high in the ball of that back foot. If that becomes a challenge to your balance, place your heel down. Okay. And I'm going to open up here. Breathing, right? Looks great, you guys. Breathing in and out. Good. And then my left hand comes down. My right one comes to the outside of my right foot. And my back foot, I'm going to just bring it up a bit so I can lengthen my front leg. This is a good place for blocks, okay? We're in a pyramid pose here. And so we're trying to lengthen that front leg, but some of us may not have that openness in the back side of our legs, and that's okay. So if not, scoot that foot up farther, closer to you, take blocks, take a chair, come high onto your fingertips, or take your hands to your shin, not your kneecap, okay? So wherever you are, find yourself here lengthening. Idea here, no matter where, is to lengthen that back side of the front leg, okay? And now we're going to bend into that front knee, and I'm going to curl and tuck my head towards that knee, okay? Thyroid, squeeze, and lengthen front leg, and exhale. Bend the knee, forehead there. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale, forehead to knee. Straightening that leg, coming back onto the ball of that back foot. So I need to extend it back, bend into my front knee again. take my left knee down and bring my right foot back into a tabletop position here. 4 rounds, cat-cow. Good transition between one side and the other. And finding neutral spine. Slide your left foot back and then bring knee to nose and foot forward. Low lunge. Okay. And during this time, I'm checking to make sure my knee and my ankle on that front foot are in alignment. And basically my hip and my right back knee are in alignment. Tucking into the toes, lifting off of my knee, pushing back through my heel onto the ball of the foot and feeling that opening there, okay? And then releasing knee down. Doing that a few more times. And again, here, blocks are really good, okay, for you. Fingertips or holding on to something, all right? If you need a chair or something else around, you know, take the tools that you have available to you and utilize them. As we're lifting, remember the idea here, lengthen the backside of that leg. We did a little bit of that laying down. Just want to make sure we're nice and open there, and our hip flexors also, because I'm feeling that here when this runner's lunge. And one more time. And then I'm going to keep my knee lifted up. I'm going to leave my right hand down this time, making sure my knee and ankle stay lined up, and lift my left arm up. Keep control of that front knee and leg. I want to go boom, like that. Let's keep it forward, okay? Really opening and stretching here. Lifting, looking, elongating. And coming back onto the flat part of your foot if you need, okay? And then taking that upper arm to the inside of your left foot. Again, maintaining the height with the ball of your foot. Or you can lower that foot down. My left hand now takes weight. My right hand lifts. Maybe I begin to look upward. If my balance allows, if I'm flat-footed, my balance will be a little more open to looking up. And take that right hand down and left hand to the outside of my left foot. Bring the back foot forward and flatten it out at about a 45-degree angle. Straighten into your front leg. This is where we may not all be that open. So here, blocks, great idea, okay? Or on your shin. But I like blocks better if you have them, because then we're not impinging on our own bodies with our weight, okay? Sometimes that works for us, sometimes that works against us. So here we are, pyramid pose, and just getting that stretch in the leg for a few breaths here. And actually both legs are elongating, but the front one a little bit more. And now let's go ahead and inhale here. Exhale, bend into your front knee and curl and tuck and round, squeezing into your thyroid. Having a little pressure there, the pineal pituitary gland and the third eye area. And then lengthening your front leg. And then exhale, curl, tuck and round back into yourself. Keep going. Let's do that. 2 more times now. And then lengthening your leg. And taking your back foot back more onto the ball of the foot again, bending into that front knee. Bring your right knee down and bring your left foot back. And now tuck toes, all your toes, and take weight into your hands off of your knees and rise on up into down dog. The backs of your legs should be nice and open now for this, but please feel free to pedal, to open up a little bit more as we pedal, or as I'm pedaling at least. I'm letting my hips, my chest kind of move as well. Just get as much out of that pedaling as I can. I'm even letting my head go. Oh, press back. And then begin to walk up mat's distance, okay, to about the middle of my mat. And then walk my hands back towards my feet and give myself a little squat here. Inhale, lengthen. Hands come to shins. I'm in a half lift here. And then exhale, sliding my hands down or back to the ground into that squatted position. And then lifting up into half lift, making sure all of this area is nice and tight. Okay, and come on down. Hands to floor, feet, blocks. Okay, and our toes are a little bit out and heels are inward a bit. Coming on up, hands on shins to really maintain a flat spine or on those blocks. I missed my blocks, didn't bring them. A little too much for luggage. I could have, but I was trying to travel light. And here I am. And one more time, let's squat down. And rise up. Hands here. Sliding my right hand down towards my right ankle. And letting my left hand come up the side body. And taking it up and looking up. Coming into a bit of a twist here. And feeling that in the back side of my legs, especially my left leg. And then my left hand slides down to my ankle or somewhere, right, or a block. And then my right hand slides up the side of my body, elbow points, and I look up. And right hand slides down. And I squat again. Take my hands to my heart center. And yes, this is the position of going to the bathroom in the woods. Hopefully we've dug a big hole and covered everything up really well. But it's also a really good position for opening up hips and just finding ourselves really close to the ground in one part of our body and rising up the other part. And then hands down, straight legs, pull at the navel, lift arms up, inhale. And exhale, hands come down. Let's go ahead and stand in mountain pose here. Breathing. Good. And bend into your knees. Let's rise up, inhale. And at the top, let's go ahead and interlace all of our fingers but our index finger. Okay, remember what thumb is on top. Rise up here and let your biceps squeeze into your ears. And let's go over to one side. Ardha Chandrasana here, half moon pose, lifting up, inhale. And then exhale, take it over to the other side. Feel that all the way down your side body. Inhale, lift. And exhale. Keep going. One more time, each side. We haven't got much side body stretching in. So I want to make sure we got some of that in today. And everything's up. Exhale. Interlace hands in the back of your base of your spine, but take the opposite thumb on top that you just had and squeeze those shoulders together. Let your hips come forward. Let your heart rise up. Let your gaze rise up as well. Squeeze the glutes, press down into your feet. And then bring yourself up. Thinking about my voice here now. Let's do a little bit of chair into goddess, okay? So bending knees, lift up, inhale. Chair pose, right? And then come on out to the left, exhale down, goddess pose. This pose has been interesting here in Hawaii. I've been seeing a lot of this with the fingers down and the elbows up. So you're welcome to try either way. And then I'm going to come back up to the center, upward salute, inhale. And then I'm going to change my arms out. I'm going to bring them forward, exhale down. Inhale, lift, step out, and come into my goddess squat. Here or here. Okay, whatever feels good for you. Inhale, lift. Changing out my hands again. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. And exhale over again. Maybe changing hands down or fingers up, whatever you'd like to do. And rising up. Changing hands again. Exhale, hands come into prayer. When I change the hands, for me, it's psychological. I forget about how chair can be so challenging. And hands come out, hands, fingers down or up, or you can do one of each. And rise up. And exhale, taking my hands in a big circle, coming around. And then taking them back again and lifting up. And bringing myself over. Hands are going to come into my center being here. Bringing up. And exhale. Taking hands forward, bringing them back, taking them forward, bringing them back, forward and up. And coming on out, hands come to heart center. Bringing myself back up. Upward salute. Exhale, hands come down. Finding mountain, finding breath. Bringing heart rate back to a nice, proper beat, because that might have, got the heart rate going a little bit, and that's good. We want that as well. And then bend into the knees. Let's open up here. Inhale. And exhale, taking feet out, heels in, toes out. I'm going to come down into bent knees here. I'm going to bring my left shoulder forward and give myself a twist. Had a few twists today, but twists and turns are part of life, so they need to be part of our yoga practice as well. And bring it back. Let's do one more each side. Got a good little snap there. And staying low here, let's slide left hand down to shin or ankle. Is it 5-2? Thank you. Let your right hand come up. Yeah, marks my timer today. And right hand down. Come back to center. Let's work these big muscles here, okay? A lot of sugar is burned with these big muscles, carbohydrates. Take your right hand, slide it down. Lift your left one up. Good. And then left down. Come into center, hands down. Lift your hips, release your head. Lengthening both sides of our legs here. And then taking ourselves onto our mats. I'm going to sit in hero's pose, but you guys choose whatever pose you would like to have. Maybe you want to be in Sukhasana, easy pose. Maybe you want to be in a wide-legged hero's pose. Whatever feels right, but connecting ourselves, at least part of ourselves again, with the earth. Feeling that between the earth, the middle ground, and the upper ground, we've taken good care of ourselves today by tuning in, coming here to be with me. It's 3-hour difference, so I'm here early at 7 for you guys. But for my 6 a.m. class, I get up at 2:30 to teach that at 3 in the morning. But this will change. So tomorrow. So thank you all for being here with me, and your spirit's been with me. I've enjoyed sending photos and such to you guys as well. So please take care, and Denise will be here